Congressman Ed Case is talking and walking with his constituents. He joins us now to give us an update on the work he's been doing and how you can get involved. Good morning, Representative Case. Thank you for being here.
Good morning. It's so great to be home. It's so great to get out of a coat and tie for a little while.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So tell us about these teletalk stories and these walk stories and how people can get involved.
You know, it's just really critical for me to stay in touch with my constituents wherever and however I can. And I try very hard. I work very hard to do that in all kinds of ways. I do personal talk stories and you know, school cafeterias, et cetera, whenever I can. I do teletalk stories also, which reach a whole bunch of people. And so I'm doing one of them tomorrow night right here in Honolulu, right from my district office, and we'll call out and reach as many people as we can. All of the information for that is at case.house.gov, so I can say that right off the top. And then a couple of months ago, I just felt that I wasn't reaching enough people in my district. You know, I represent 720,000 people, and I hear regularly from tens of thousands of people, but that leaves a lot of people that are not emailing me, not calling my office. And, you know, I just felt that the connection was not quite what I wanted it to be. So I just canceled all my meetings one week, and I went walking in my district, wherever I took communities, you know, so, you know, Kalama Valley, Mililani Mauka, Kapolei, and right across, and I just walked for that week. And I talked to hundreds and hundreds of people where they lived, where they worked, where they were playing, just going about their lives. And I just thought that was one of the best things I've done in a long time. So I went back and did it again 2 weeks ago, just to simply get out there where people are living their lives, to talk with them, to understand what their concerns are, to give them a chance to talk to me directly.
Sounds like you got more than enough steps in for your day. What have you been hearing?
Well, I mean, cost of living obviously is still the biggest issue to many people across the board. Cost of housing, cost of food. I spoke to many small businesses as I went along, from you know, florists to goldsmiths to you know, game small businesses and right across the board. And I think one of the things that I definitely picked up there was the increase in small businesses from the president's tariffs. Because many of these businesses are dependent on imports in one way or another. So that came through loud and clear. But people are just worried about the basics of life, right? Cost of living, crime, definitely some of the larger issues, but the things that affect you right at your home. So it's no surprise, but it's good to get out where people are and actually give them a chance to talk to me where they're living their life, not having to come to me.
You know, currently we're in hurricane season and we are monitoring a hurricane that's south of our state, among other disturbances. Can you tell us about federal disaster assistance and if you see that being in jeopardy?
You know, I have been very critical of President Trump's attack really on the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, which is our primary line of response and defense and prevention of these kinds of disasters, whether they're hurricanes or tsunamis or wildfires. The president has, for reasons that are still unexplained to me, been going after FEMA. And I believe that we should maintain our FEMA funding. I've been fighting for this in my Appropriations Committee, which we're very busy on right now, and to try to maintain that FEMA funding. And I believe that if we had a major disaster here in Hawaii, we would again have the federal government responding through FEMA, because some of the changes that he's trying to make would not impact us today. But it's out into the future that I worry about, where we have a disaster in 1 or 2 years or something like that, and this president has reduced our primary way to respond to disasters. I don't believe that that's wise policy.
And before I let you go, can you tell us give us an update on the rebuilding of Lahaina for funding?
We're still on very good track on the funding of Lahaina. This has been obviously a major disaster, a major response, billions and billions of dollars that the congressional delegation has worked to get into the pipeline. Right now, the major effort is over $1 billion, $1.6 billion to be exact, that the congressional delegation got late last year for the actual rebuilding of Lahaina. And we've stayed very close to the federal government to make sure that that funding remains on track. We believe that it is on track, and that remains one of my top priorities.
Thank you very much, Representative Case, for answering our questions.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.